Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to our witnesses for being here today. It's a very important subject. When I was active duty, I made every effort to vote when I knew there was an election going on. It was very easy, well, being overseas, there was a lot of help during a presidential election. There's a lot of attention going on. But I found it more difficult during midterm elections, which in Georgia, that's when our gubernatorial election is. And more specifically, local, county, and some state elections that may be off cycle. And part of it was even knowing that a specific election was going on. Really for both of you, is there attention made to these non-federal elections to active duty military?
Thank you for the question. If you haven't gone to the ff.gov website, I highly recommend it. It's a wealth of knowledge that's for military members, military spouses, as well as overseas citizens. It also has links directly to each state and then each jurisdiction. But to your point of increasing that awareness, our goal is to make sure that every UOCAVA eligible voter has access to that and is able to link back to their particular state or their locality. But Mr. Weedman, can you provide a bit more information on exactly what you do?
Yeah, so we have a requirement, and the services help us to ensure that every member receives a federal postcard application form either electronically or some sort of notice in every January 15th of every year. So that's not just the even-numbered years, and then again in July of the even-numbered years. So if the voter sends that form in to that state or local election office, they would get whatever ballots would come to them during that calendar year.
All right. I appreciate that, and I can remember during the times that I was in, often our squadron commander would send out something advising there is an election going on, you encourage you to vote. Is that something that you get engagement by commanders, unit commanders, to interface, at least to let the troops know that there is election going on?
Yes, through the military services, there's the entire chain of command. There's a service voting action officer for each service that we meet with monthly. And then each installation has an installation voting assistance officer as well as a brick and mortar voter assistance office. And that's typically like in the Military or Family Readiness Center where families can go as well to get assistance as well as the members.
Okay, thank you. Director Weedman, while I've got you, from your experience, are ballots of military voters deployed on active duty orders susceptible to voter fraud?
We facilitate the connectivity between that voter and that local election official. And then once the election official receives that, they're the ones who would review the ballot for validity and authenticity.
So you're taking it from the service member and delivering it to the local elections office or the state? Is that what you're referring to?
The Military Postal Service Agency, when it's dropped off at a military post office on an installation, will take that, and they're an extension of the U.S. Postal Service, and then they'll have that delivered to Chicago, and then from there it goes into the U.S. Postal Service.
Okay. What steps does FAP take to ensure election integrity is upheld when assisting service members with voter registration?
So a person who is assigned as a voting officer does that job in a nonpartisan way.
Okay.
Just basically there to facilitate the process. FAP provides ff.gov and the tools and materials. That local voting officer knows that installation, knows the circumstance they're in, whether it be a submarine or forward deployed, and then will help the voters to navigate the process locally.
How would that fit in with the uniqueness of certain states and election laws, i.e. in Georgia you have to show an ID to be able to register to vote as well as to vote. Do you take in consideration of the local election laws when you're registering votes?
So we work with those state and local election offices. This book, all the information we provide in here and on our website is signed off by the chief state election official in every state. We work with Blake Evans in the Secretary of State's office for Georgia to ensure that everything is accurate and up to date. So when a voter fills this out, it will be accepted by the Georgia County, and the Georgia County would then be able to send that ballot out to the voter.
Okay, thank you. Last question. Are you aware of any credible reporting of bad actors committing voter fraud through UOCAVA ballots?
I am not.
Okay, thank you. I yield back.